started? Cool. Welcome back to Sales Training with Spence, where we turn novices into experts, experts into closing beasts, and sellers into closers. Today we are talking about standard closes in sales, in person, over the phone, however you're selling. We're talking about standard closes. Now, closes, there is hundreds, there's millions, there's billions of different ways you can close a deal, billions of different ways even listed online. Probably some ways you've made up on your own to close a deal that haven't been done before when you've done it. But today we are just going to teach you the basics, because you need to understand the foundation and build your foundation before you become a closing beast, right? You can't build a high-rise on sticks. You gotta make the base strong, man. So you might be thinking, man, why are you teaching me the basics? You said you're gonna turn me into an expert, man. Listen, you guys are the novices. I'm the expert. I'm trying to bring you to where I am. So I'm gonna teach you the basics because I had to learn it too at one point, right? So, you have a book? Are you on the right page?
96.
Cool. So we're gonna give each person a turn to read through one of the closes. Just the quote in the quotations at the top. Read through the first close. This one's called the puppy dog close.
Want me to go?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, why don't you take it home today, John? Give it a try. Keep it for a week, and if you don't like it, bring it back. No cost to you. Puppy dog close.
Puppy dog close. So supposedly this close was used in pet shops all the time when selling dogs, hence the name puppy dog close. The shop would sell the dog to someone, say, hey, bring that dog home for a week. If you don't like it, bring it back, we'll give you a full refund. And they found nobody had the heart to bring back their dog once they brought it home. So
I never brought it back.
Whiskey was that for me, and Spencer was that for me. My dog and my cat.
Exactly. So they got Sarah.
They close Sarah.
They close Sarah, man. Exactly. So if you can do this with your product too, then it could work. Especially if your product is actually as good as you say it is when you're selling it.
That's like lowering the action threshold.
Yeah, exactly.
That closes all about.
So puppy dog close. And I'm not gonna write all the quotations, all the information under each of it. It'll take way too long. If you do want all the information, the full exact knowledge of how to do it, I would encourage you to pick up the Close 7-Level Selling by Steph and Arnio. Leave a comment, leave a DM to me. I can hook you up with a good deal, get you the whole bundle for a discounted price, So pick up the whole book if you want all the information, or rewatch the video 75 times. So number 1, puppy dog close. Number 2,
Ben Franklin.
the Ben Franklin close. All right, Andy, go ahead.
I'm gonna write it down for the folks.
Shall.
Well, Spencer, those are excellent points you make on that objection of yours. So why don't we grab a piece of paper and write down all the reasons why you should do this, and then all the reasons why you shouldn't do this. And once you see it on a piece of paper, then you can decide.
So this was
Car
the
salesman.
yeah
101.
yeah. So this was it's called the Ben Franklin close because this is the exact way that Ben Franklin would close his deals. He was he made decisions by writing all the pros and cons on a piece of paper and weighing it out. If you have done a good sales presentation, you should have several reasons why to move ahead and very few to not move ahead. So this is how Ben Franklin moved ahead with all of his major decisions, how he, I guess, closed himself on things, and how you can go close other people. Ben Franklin close. Number 3 is the sharp angle close. I think this is my favorite one. I like using the sharp angle close. If you refer back to one of our earlier presentations, we talked about how when you're being a salesman, if you want to be an effective salesman and creating real rapport, you have to come off as sharp as a tack, enthusiastic as hell, and an expert in your field. Well, the sharp angle close will make you sound sharp as a tack, which is why I like it. Who's taking this one?
Sharp angle close. I hear you, John. You don't have the money. The reason why you don't have the money today is because you didn't do something like this 5 years ago. How long are you going to put this off? Let's make this happen for you.
Exactly. So paradoxically, the reason not to buy also became the reason to buy. Essentially, you just outsmarted them, man. I don't have time becomes you would have more time if you took the program. I don't have any money becomes you would have more money if you took the program. I can't do it because I have kids becomes I must do it because I have kids. Which is actually ironic because in our program here we sell real estate investing coaching services, teaching you how you can turn real estate investing into your full-time job, making more money than you do at your miserable job already, becoming a happy man, happy woman. But the ironic thing is that most people who perform the best in our program are the married people with kids. So if they say I can't do it, I have kids, well, that's the reason you should do it, because you will be successful.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Next
sir.
one is the walk away, take away, today only clothes. I like this one too. It puts a sense of urgency on your product. It makes them think that they aren't going to get it. It's exclusive, and if they don't take action now, they're going to miss out on something fantastic. And you don't want to miss out on something fantastic. So who's Devin?
Sarah's going in. Oh no, sorry. I didn't know that.
Well, John, I'm sorry. It sounds like this offer just isn't for you. And that's okay, it's not for everyone. Just slowly pack your bags and do a walk to the door or the car. Unfortunately, this offer is only available today on the first call special. It's company policy. So if you want it, we can get you started right now. If not, the offer expires.
Exactly. So this is a hard closing technique.
Yep.
Should be used sparingly because it can make egos flare up. It can make people angry and damage your relationship with the person on the other side. And like Devin mentioned in there, yeah, if you're in person, start packing up your stuff, make it look like you're walking away. Maybe right before you leave the door, turn back, re-offer that. Or if you're over the phone, maybe bring your microphone down to your bag and start zipping it or packing stuff up so they can hear what you're doing, right? Like, create that sense of urgency more so than just through your words. Like do it through your actions, man.
Yeah. Or at the events too, what you'll do when you're in person is that maybe instead of leaning back, you can take your pen, you can put the lid back on your pen, you can put it in your book, and then you can like lay
Lean
back.
a bit, yeah. Gotta use the actions, man. Remember, 58% in person is from your body language. 58% of effective communication is from body language in person. Okay, the next one is the invitational close. Sarah, do you want to take this one?
Sure. Okay, so it says here just that it's preceded by a trial close. So I say, do you like the idea so far? Or does what I have shown you make sense to you? Followed by a yes from the customer. And you say, if you like what I've shown you, why don't you give it a try?
So very good, Sarah. This is a more soft close, more of a classy approach.
That's like a meat close.
Yeah,
Want to take it for a walk?
you're inviting them instead of pushing them. You're being nice, you're being open, you're being welcoming, and some people respond to that a lot better. What I also like about it is you create a little yes chain for yourself before you actually close them, so they're in a little chain of saying yes to you. Sarah asked the first question here. She said, does what I have shown you make sense to you? And they say yes to you. Or at the beginning of our calls, even at the beginning of our scripts, we said, hey, is this person? They say yes. We ask them another question. They say yes. And all of a sudden you have them in a yes chain of saying yes, being used to saying yes to you instead of no or being defensive. So then by the time it comes down to asking them to close, they are more likely to say yes because that's all they've been saying to you over the call, right? So I like that one. The next one is the directive close. Andy?
You want me to hit this one?
Yeah, get it.
Well, John, it sounds like you like the value, you like the idea. So the next step would be to get you started with the paperwork. And I should be able to have that service delivered to you by Monday, as we discussed.
Awesome. So the directive close, it's very, very popular in many different industries. Say the most common type of close that there is. The next close in here is the preferential close, the A or the B.
The A or the B. Well, fantastic, John. I'm glad you like the value. I'm glad you like the idea. Would you like to get started on a Visa or a MasterCard? That was my favorite.
Yeah. And this
Visa or MasterCard, John?
and we use that in our scripts. In every single one of our scripts, we have Visa or MasterCard, and that's just how we do it.
Sometimes I have 7 separate cards.
Yeah, there you go.
7.
So I mean,
I'm pretty sure it was 9.
What was 7? Was it 9?
I'm pretty sure it was 9.
No.
It was like 9 separate.
No, I ran his card 9 times,
Mm.
but I've ran like 7 cards at once.
Yeah, so this is a very, very common binary close. It takes the buyer away from the yes or no and puts this into, or it takes them away from the yes or no of should I buy this or not, and puts them into the what card am I going to use to buy this. You know, so
Yeah, you're almost assuming the sale.
yeah, exactly. Even if they've said it or not, you assume you've already closed them. They've already said yes. Would you like to put on your Visa or MasterCard?
Yeah.
They pick which one. Give them 2 options: the A or the B. Preferential close. Next one is the incremental close. Brackets wood crate versus cardboard.
Incremental close. Mr. Prospect, I know you haven't decided to make an order yet, but if you were to want to get an order, would you prefer to your product delivered in a wood crate or a cardboard crate? Another variation of this is, fantastic. What is the best zip or postal code to ship the product to?
So these are small little closes to gain commitment before actually getting full commitment on the full entire close of the actual product. You're getting little tiny bits of commitment here and there. So again, kind of like the yes chain, they're used to it. They feel good about it. They're committing. You hit them with a big offer, they commit. That is the incremental close. I like that one. I like increments. I set my goals using increments. Big goals.
This whole
once
thing
you
is
go
an
goals,
incremental
reaches it.
close.
Yeah,
Everything we're doing right now is an incremental close.
exactly.
100%.
Including this video.
Okay. So now the authorization close. I'm gonna need my room up here. You want these ones? Take a screenshot now.
Or just buy the book.
This is the too much stuff on the whiteboard close.
So hold on, I gotta erase it.
It's got circles, loops, everything. It's called the JB close.
Yeah, pass me the Windex. And the paper towel.
Authorization close.
Do you have any further questions or concerns, Mr. Prospect? The prospect does not, so you grab the contract, check off the boxes, push it towards them with a pen ready to sign, and say, well then, if you'll just authorize this, we'll get started right away. This is used in very large, multi-million-dollar deals.
Awesome. Took the words right out of my mouth. This is used in very big multi-million-dollar deals. The authorization close. Also, somewhat creating a sense of urgency. Sign here with the pen and paper ready. You know, they're like, holy fuck, I'm under pressure. Okay. And then, who knows what happens after. The ultimatum close.
This is a money one.
I really like this one.
Yeah, this is great. Ultimatums. Yeah. We should all.
I'm all about the ultimate.
Go ahead.
So, Mr. Prospect, I know how busy you are. We've been talking about this product for some time, and it's either a good idea for you or it isn't. If it's a good idea, we should make the decision right now and get on with it. But if not, your time's too valuable to continue talking about it. If you'll authorize this, we'll get started right away.
You see, Sarah, so her and the prospect would have been going back and forth for some time now with multiple meetings. The sale is starting to waste your time and his. She said your time is valuable, as is mine, etc., etc. Now she's going to reverse the ultimatum for the last resort when it comes to actually closing. Typically, you can avoid this by setting a meeting limit up front with your prospect. Go ahead.
Mr. Prospect, I understand you want to have a second meeting, and that's no problem. But usually most people are able to make a decision within 2 meetings. So if you can, please have everything you need to make a firm decision that day.
And when setting the third meeting, Sarah?
Okay. And Mr. Prospect, I'll set a third meeting with you so you can sort out XYZ details. But I want to let you know that I've never booked a 4th meeting. Either this is for you on the 3rd meeting or it's not. And I really don't want to waste your time.
I would buy it. Yeah, I like that one a lot too. Ultimatum close.
I was thinking.
Our next type is our order sheet close. Andy, this is you.
Yeah, okay, so what's the correct spelling of your first and last name there, Mr. Prospect? And then start filling out the order form right in front of them. Putting the order together.
Boom.
Done.
I like that one too.
Damn.
Or she goes.
And the last one, the I want to think it over close.
That would be when the prospect responds, I have to think about it. You would respond, Mr. Prospect, that's a great idea. This is an important business decision, and I don't want you to rush into anything. At that point, the client will relax because he thinks the sale is over, and then you can ask in a curious tone, Mr. Prospect, obviously you have a good reason for wanting to think it over, so may I ask what it is? Is it the money? Is it the money? It's always the money.
Boom. Boom. Those are our standard closes here. Those are the basics. If you don't know those ones, man, learn these ones first and then go into, and don't just learn them. Learn them, practice them, master them, and then start learning more complicated techniques. And you will become the closing beast that you know you are, that I know you are. This book will bring you there. Sales Training with Spence.